The NFL playoffs are heating up with just 8 teams left battling for a spot in the conference championships. The road to the Super Bowl in Santa Clara is getting real. This weekend's matchups are loaded with fantasy implications. Saturday kicks off with the Buffalo Bills heading to Mile High to take on the top-seeded Denver Broncos. And it's interesting that the Denver Broncos are actually the underdog in this one. Josh Allen versus that stout defense. You better bring out the popcorn. Then it's the NFC West matchup with San Francisco 49ers visiting the Seahawks for their third time this season. Expect some fireworks from Purdy, JSN, and the rest of the Seahawks and 49ers gang. Sunday brings the Houston Texans looking to keep their Cinderella story running against the New England Patriots. And capping off is the Sunday night football game, the Los Angeles Rams at the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams hosting Puka Nacua and the Devontae Adams show. So don't forget to tune into all these games this coming weekend. We are the Fantasy Football Healers. I'm your host, Dustin Brown, at FF Healers. And with me today is Colten Palmer, at FF Captain 22. Welcome in.
What an introduction. My goodness. Take a breath. Whew. Whew.
So much to go through.
If you are joining us live, no, Dustin did not text me this morning and tell me to match him. We didn't plan out. We did not plan out the outfits. It just kind of works that way.
I dig it.
But you do dig it. It just panned out that way. Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend, man. And luckily for me, my whole family is, it's the season of sick. The whole family is just down and out. We had 3 kids and 3 fevers throughout this whole week. So it's been a great time. And so I just get to stay in all weekend, just enjoy some football. So I'm pretty pumped about that. School started back up, so I'll be just writing a paper away and watching football. It's going to be a good weekend.
My daughter has a swim meet out of town, and my wife will be going with her. I think we're supposed to have flurries on and off. They're going to have to stay overnight. Me and my son Kevin, we're going to have a boys' weekend, and so we're actually going to be going to Bass Pro Shop. We're going to be doing some bowling, looking at the fish, playing some arcade, eating there. We're going to make a day of it, and of course, we'll make it back just in time to watch playoff football.
Dude's Day?
Dude's Day. Dude's Weekend.
What? Dude's Weekend. Oh, man. That sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
It's a dude's weekend every weekend at my house. I've got 3 boys. We outnumber my wife, so it's a dude's weekend all the time. Dude's Weekly.
Yeah.
Sounds like an interesting magazine.
I wouldn't know that one. Let's bring in some news before we get into some of these matchups. We'll also touch base a little bit on last week's games that will influence some of these games to come. Colten, before we get into some Viking news, I think we should touch base a little bit on a couple rookies. Trinidad Chambliss, the Ole Miss quarterback, is making the news. He's attempting to sue the NCAA in an attempt to get one more season in college.
Yeah, man. Just wild that these kids are wanting to stay in college now. I mean, prior to this whole NIL and NIL money, we've talked about it before plenty of times. It's just we're seeing a new day and age of football where these college kids are actually getting paid for the hard work that they put in. I mean, making a lot for it too. But they used to just try to rush out of football or out of college football. They had a good season. They're declaring for the draft because that's how they were going to get paid, and they never knew what the future held. Now, when they can just take this NIL money, man, we can see them stick around longer and longer, and we see this guy even fighting even harder to just stay in collegiate football, which is crazy. I'm sure that it has to do with him, and his agent knows that he has low draft capital, and so he's just like, maybe I can raise it, or maybe I can just get a little bit more money prior to ending my career, because I don't think he was going to be a high draft capital in the NFL. And unfortunately, that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
I mean, he had a magic season this year with Ole Miss. They played very well up until their last game against Indiana. They just ran into a buzzsaw. Indiana looks like the team to beat in the championship this coming Monday night. But you said it right. I think it's more about the money. He's going to have a lot more NIL money if he stays in college versus if he gets drafted. And then the other thing I'm wondering is if this starts to get out of hand with the NCAA college, where everyone's trying to stay in college to continue to make their NIL deals, are they going to actually put more of a solid cap on these players and say, hey, 5 years, no matter what? That way you've got a one red shirt freshman year, and then it's 4 years after that, solid, just to put a cap on it.
Something's going to have to be done. I mean, we saw it with Shuck. Shuck was in college for what, 6 years, 7 years? Oh, dang it. Man. 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. You did not cut that out. You did 6, 7. I'm quitting. This is my resignation now. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Anyway, 6, 7. I'm ignoring it now. We've seen it now happen. They're gonna have to. There's something needs to be done. It's getting a little out of hand, just with the fact that these college kids are just sticking around forever, and we're not getting any turnover. They're not declaring for the draft. I mean, it's also just, it has to be a waylay on like some of these like college kids, like these freshmen and sophomore trying to enter. It's like you got a guy with 6 years experience that you're going up against. I mean, we're not getting to see these younger guys come out because of it. So it's starting like a waterfall effect at this point, that we're not getting the young guys because these old guys are sticking around. And it's just, something just needs to be done. I don't mind the kids getting paid for the hard work that they put in, but at the same time, it's just, there needs to be a cap, and they need to figure something out.
So we touched a little bit on Indiana's going to be playing Miami for the championship game. Indiana, they got Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman winner. He's going to get drafted, probably the 101 in the NFL draft. But did you know that Alberto Mendoza, his brother, actually plays for the Indiana Hoosiers also?
I did not.
As a quarterback?
Crazy.
And he could potentially be next year's starting quarterback. He will have to compete with others like the TCU Josh Hoover, who just recently transferred to Indiana. But I just thought it was interesting. I had no idea that Fernando had a brother, Alberto, and they're on the same team playing the same position.
No, that's crazy. Just breeding them out there over there in Indiana. I'm not sure what state they're actually from. I'm sure they're not from
Miami.
They're from
Miami. So he's going to have a homecoming this coming Monday night against Miami, playing at Miami. And when Fernando was actually trying to come out to college for football, he attempted to walk on, or he was wanting to walk on with Miami, but they weren't going to have him at all. So he had to go to Cal, play there, and before he actually ended up going to Indiana, where he made his Heisman Trophy run, now championship run.
I did see a tweet out about Mendoza has been like a Miami fan for life, and now he's got to face them in the national title game, which is just crazy. But no, I did not know he had a brother that just followed him around out there. That's pretty cool. We'll see if he's just as good, if not any better. But we'll find out.
All right, Vikings news.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Colten, it's the off season, so we know what this news is all about. Jordan Addison, he got arrested for trespassing near a casino at like 3:30 in the morning. What the heck, man?
He just can't. He just can't not do it. He's like, I've got to do it. I mean, I might as well do it early this year, get it out of the way. He's got to make the headlines. So he's like, you know what? Let's go and do something just a little silly, but not too bad. I mean, trespassing, forgive those who trespass against us, right? That's one of the sayings or something.
Yes, that's in the Bible.
Okay, that's what I thought. So there we go. He's doing something he can be forgiven for.
Okay, that's one take. The coach says 99% of the time, Jordan Addison is great to be around. The 1% is like this off-season crap. They're going to have to start putting somebody with them to basically watch every move that this kid makes. There's been other players in the past. I think maybe T.O. was one of them, where they had to have somebody with him at all times so that way he doesn't get himself in trouble in the offseason.
He's going to have a PR babysitter, public relations babysitter, just following him around like, hey, no, that's on the border of stupid. No, it's not.
Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Just oh my goodness. And I've seen a lot of tweets pop up. They're like, this is violation of his probation from his DUI last year.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Typically, probation sticks around with like same jurisdiction, so it shouldn't affect because he did this in Miami.
This was down in Florida.
Down in Florida. So his DUI was not in Florida. I don't remember where it was, but it shouldn't have any jurisdiction or complications. Now, they can always pull it back after he got arrested for this trespassing and say, hey, but most likely it shouldn't converge on each other.
I wish I had an Ice baby drop, and I might have to get one here. But Matty Ice is now the Falcons' new president. And, we thought they had quarterback problems. Now they got 3 in the room.
Honestly, I was just waiting to hear the news that the Colts are signing Matt Ryan. They gave the Phillip Rivers an old run, but I thought maybe Matt Ryan would come back for a run.
Didn't he already play there?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he already played for the Colts for a very terrible season.
Bad. It was bad.
I think he was the one that got us the pick to get Anthony Richardson. So he was just setting back other teams so he could go and take over the Falcons. But Matt Ryan's been an important part of that organization for a very long time. And it sounds like they pretty much created this job just for him. He was the only one that interviewed for it and everything. So good for him. It's exciting to see them get a little help in this on this team as they need it as they're perpetually rebuilding.
They are completely lost. I think they're going to have a hard time figuring out what they're going to be doing in the coaching scheme. I think that they have to make some decisions on some of the personnel that they currently have in regards to Pitts. I would suspect that they're going to tag him this offseason. What are they going to do with Kirk Cousins? They manipulated his contract so they could maybe have him as only like $2 million for this year, and everything else is getting $8 million later on down the line. He's a strong trade candidate to trade away. I just don't know what teams are going to be interested in having Cousins. Obviously he's a bridge guy. Does he come back to the Vikings? I don't know. There's a possibility. The Vikings are $36 million over the cap. And so we're negative cap hell right here. So we need a cheap option that's going to be competing with JJ McCarthy.
The negative for right now. We see it happen every year. The NFL gives extensions on the cap hits and everything. So we'll see what the extension is this year for how much they extend on the cap. But they do it every single year. They extend the cap. So that number is not as bad as we believe it to be currently. But we got to remember Michael Penix tore his ACL. They still need somebody there. I mean, we don't know if he's going to be ready. This is his, third ACL tear?
Yeah, Matt Ryan's going to go like this. Rip
Yeah.
off the president outfit, and he'll suit up again.
So we got to have somebody ready there in Atlanta week 1 if Penix isn't ready to go, or just in case Penix does something again. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do down there. They first got to figure out their GM and their head coach, and they've got a lot of figuring out to do down there in Atlanta, but we'll see what pans out in all these important pieces that Matt Ryan has to try to help piece together.
They can bring back the Cincinnati quarterback, Ritter. I think he's available. Pretty sure he's not on a team right now.
I think we all saw that experiment as well.
It'll help him get a better draft stock.
Yeah. Yep. We've seen how that's panned out for him too. They had the number 8 pick for 3 years. And, well, we know what happened with that.
They had to trade up in order to get James Pierce this year, so they don't even have a first-round pick.
Oh man, so many important things happening in Atlanta.
Yeah, which takes us to the Rams, because the Rams have their first-round pick. The Rams did beat the Panthers this past week. It was looking like it was going to be a blowout initially, and then the Panthers did fight back. You got to give the Panthers some credit there that they fought back. They did win their division. It's still not a team that I'm believing in, but I think the coaching for the Panthers has definitely improved this year compared to where it was even a year or two ago.
I mean, yeah, just speaking of last week's game, what a fun weekend, aside from one game.
That wasn't bad for the first three quarters.
But for the most part, it was, I mean, the Panthers made it a very entertaining game. They kept up with them. It was just a fun game to watch. And you're right. It's just, the Tampa Bay tree line looked pretty good over the weekend. I mean, you had Liam Cohen there in Jacksonville, which had an awesome game against the Bills. You had Dave Canales with the Panthers, who, they gave the Rams a run for their money. So, I mean, it was just a great weekend. And those two head coaches, I mean, hats off to them. They've really changed two franchises kind of around to make them at least entertaining football teams. And I mean, Jacksonville looked like the better team there for like the probably
the whole game.
Almost the whole game.
You took the words out of my mouth. My next question was, how did the Bills win this game? Because the Jaguars look like they had the better team on offense, better team on defense. The Bills, they lose two wide receivers in this game. Shavers and Gabe Davis both tore their ACL in this one. And, they're riding Shakir for targets, but he has like a 1.0 like depth of target in ADOT. So, like, I don't know how they got it done.
With a sick touchdown catch by my boy, Dalton Kincaid, baby. I mean, come on, you got to admit that was he shows up. They need him on that team.
Not a consistent producer, and that's why
it doesn't matter. He shows
Trey
up.
Burton had his games too, Colten.
They showed up when they need him to.
Trey Burton had a lot more games than Kincaid.
That team needs Dalton Kincaid. I think he does open up the field more. But it came down to the last final minutes. And Josh Allen was just able to get it done with both his legs. I mean, a tush push for 10-yard touchdown. I mean, when you let that happen, it's honestly at that point, it's kind of over with. I mean, if they can get 10 yards off of that.
But I think it's pretty clear that the Jaguars are going in the right direction. It looked like whatever changes that they ended up making here this year seemed like it's working. Their coaching staff looks like they're pushing them in the right direction. Lawrence was struggling early on this season, and then all of a sudden, once they traded for Myers, it really started to open up. And let's not forget, after Travis Hunter was put on IR, their team tended to open up. It'll be interesting to see what they do next year with BTJ, Hunter, Myers, Parker Washington played an amazing game. And then also their end, Brendan Strange, he plays well over the course of the season. He didn't do a whole lot in this one though.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting offseason with the Jags here. Liam Cohen runs the offense and everything, so you shouldn't be too concerned about the offensive coordinator position, whether they keep him, move on. I'm sure hopefully they'll hang on to him and everything. I haven't heard any rumors about him getting any interviews or anything. But it is just interesting what their wide receiver room is going to do here. There's trade rumors about BTJ because he's not producing for them. I'm sure he's got to want out. He went from a 1,400-yard season to I can't remember off the top of my head what he did.
Had to have been injured, don't you think?
Injury, scheme. I mean, he's in a whole new scheme. Last year was completely different, and it wasn't Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball to him. It was Mac Jones that was peppering him with targets. And, I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what it is. He had a couple of catches, like he had a touchdown catch in the game this last weekend. He had some important pieces, but it still wasn't the BTJ that we saw at the end of year last year. I mean, if you have BTJ, what are you doing with him right now?
I don't have BTJ because when he came out as a rookie, we talked about it many times that he seemed like he was like a body catcher. And if I recall in the combine, he had some weird things that were going off with his mechanics. Proved me completely wrong his rookie season. His rookie season was fantastic. But where he was going in fantasy drafts, his rookie year was a little high for me, and I had other players that I had in mind.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do with him, though, if you had him?
I'd hold.
Hold?
Yep.
Would you trade for him at all?
Yes.
Yeah. What are you willing to give up for BTJ, though?
I would probably give up a late first.
Okay. All right. I've got a.
He's proven that he's proven, at least for his rookie season, that he can be very dynamic. And let's face it, a late first round pick in your rookie drafts, it's still kind of a dart throw.
Oh,
when you get that far down the line, there are a lot of receivers. This is a receiver class, but like, what's the percentage chance that you're going to hit on one of these receivers coming out? That could potentially be a top 5 rookie this season, and even a top 5 rookie is how many yards are they giving you? 600, 700 yards. Top 5, maybe 750. I mean, you already saw BTJ hit once. He's got the name cachet. The only problem is with like the Jaguars, and I've said it once, if I'll say it again, it's always hard. Like when you think you have the Jaguars wide receiver 1, you don't have the Jaguars wide receiver 1. We saw it with Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns. We saw it with DJ Shark. I mean, it's just like it just keeps churning and churning and churning, and it's probably because, like you said, the schemes, they go through one coach and then they go through another, and then you just don't see the consistency.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lincoln is here to stay, and we saw what BTJ's role is in this offense. You know, unless it comes out that he's injured, I'm honestly still scared to give up a first for him. I mean, I know those late firsts are dart throws anyways, but I feel like maybe at this point he could be a dart throw. You know, unless we get some news on whether he is injured or not. I think he is very good, but it just could be this offensive scheme. So, you know I've said it in the past, draft talent, situation can change. So maybe you're right. It's an opportunity to go after him.
I mean, I nearly traded a first and a second for him going into the playoffs for like the championship run in our Wizarding World League. I ended up getting T. Higgins instead. Paid a hefty price for him, but I attempted to make a 4-peat. Didn't quite work out. The Bengals, as we've seen, they just, once they got kicked out of the playoffs, it was just inconsistency kind of down the line because the wind had been knocked out of their sails by that point.
I think that T. Higgins trade will pay off for you. I'm a big T. Higgins believer, so I think we're going to see even better seasons to come.
You think I could trade T. Higgins for BTJ plus?
I think you're on the right track. I think you are.
I don't hate that.
I would definitely I have T. Higgins definitely higher in my rankings than BTJ now, though.
Very good. Just a couple other kind of news bits from last week, and then again we'll go into some of this divisional round. But there were so many interesting games last week. I think we just have to touch on it just a little bit. You know, the Chicago Bears beating the Packers in a game where they had 6 points, I think, at halftime, and then the script they had 3 points. The script completely flipped, and the Bears ended up pulling it off. We're in Illinois, so, I mean, we're hearing it from every person that we come in contact with that no one can believe that the Bears actually pulled it off. And then we saw at the end with Ben Johnson, saying I don't know exactly what he said, but apparently he said something to Matt LaFleur that is sparking some debate because he was just being really snarky, and he's like, yeah, we just hate the Packers.
Yeah. What a game, honestly. It was a fun game in the second half for sure. It looked like the Bears were just going to get smoked. And then the Packers just kind of do what the Packers do. They let off on the gas for some reason, and just couldn't find their footing after letting off on the gas. It was 3-21, could have been 3-24, but they got old Brandon McManus just whiffing on field goals. Like, what?
He did that all season, Colton. He did it all
God.
season. He got injured. Their backup kicker was solid, and then McManus got better and healed, kept missing kicks, and here we are in the playoffs. He misses the kick. Multiple
Missed 3 kicks.
Yeah.
Right before going into halftime, whiffs on that, and that was just that was the wind in the sails that the Bears needed, was that miss. It's super defeating going into halftime, 3-24. It doesn't seem like a lot because it's just a field goal, but 3-24 is a very big difference to 3-21. And so, that's 3 whole touchdowns that you're down now rather than, 2.5. But anyways, what a fun game. I mean, Caleb Williams really did show out and he made some throws that no quarterback in the history of the NFL should ever make. Like, there was one, he's diving with someone grabbing his ankles and he just chucks it 30 yards downfield. Like, it was
the Michael Jordan logo. Did you see the Michael Jordan logo?
Yes.
In the fourth down?
It was incredible, man. It was such a fun game to watch. I mean, as a Vikings fan too, I feel good for the Bears fans. We do live in Illinois. It's exciting to see them all happy after having such devastating seasons back to back. I still hate the Bears, but I mean, it is exciting for them. My father-in-law is a Bears fan, and the next morning we went over to their house for a brunch. He goes, "How about them Bears, Colton?" I'm like, "I'm not a Bears fan. You know this." But yeah, it was just such a fun game. It's in this weekend. I think it's, we have 2 fourth quarter quarterbacks playing against each other between Stafford and Caleb Williams. The first 3 quarters might be a snooze fest, but that fourth quarter, man, it's going to be riveting. It's going to be awesome. I am excited.
We'll get to that here in just a bit. The 49ers, they end up beating the Eagles, but at the cost of George Kittle tearing and rupturing his Achilles in the first quarter. Awful. But did you hear what the president ended up bringing him to him in the athletic training room?
I did. He had a nice bottle of tequila waiting for him.
And then the Eagles, they decide to move on from Kevin Petula for their offensive coordinator. I would guess that's probably the last game they're going to have AJ Brown also. Don't you think he's going to be on the trading block? What if the Eagles trade AJ Brown to the Jaguars and they get BTJ? They make kind of a switcheroo. But is BTJ too similar to Devonta Smith with the routes?
Very similar. I would like to see them give Devonta Smith the chance to be the one. I would like to see
They did that already, though.
What?
They did that already. They did that for a year before A.J. Brown was there.
Yes, but A.J. Brown, but that is also in earlier on in Devonta Smith's career. We've seen when A.J. Brown has been out that Devonta Smith has been shining, and he's been getting even better opportunities. And then A.J. Brown is the squeaky wheel. Get me the ball. And then Devonta Smith's opportunity goes down and they started losing. When they started forcing the ball to A.J. Brown is when this offense got worse. They were winning games prior to throwing the ball to A.J. Brown all the time. I know he's an incredible player. I know he's a fantastic wide receiver. He's very good, but forcing him the ball has shown to not be that great for this offense. I mean, I also thought the offense was broken by this offensive coordinator as well, so I'm excited to see him go. But I would love to see Devonta Smith get his chance, get him a good 2, like a good wide receiver 2 that can take some heat off of him. But bringing in someone like a stud alpha, I don't want to see that, just for the sake to see what Devonta Smith can do. Give him a year. Give him a year to prove it, to show, I am that guy.
Hear this conspiracy theory about the 49ers and all their injuries, about the electromagnetic field that is near their practice field. And there is some research that it's shown that the electrical stations can actually cause collagen depreciation, weakening of the tendons and soft tissue, potentially causing more harm to a number of these 49ers players. I mean, we've seen them completely self-sacrifice themselves many times this season in order to allow CMC to have finally a healthy season.
Well, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's weakening all these other players, but CMC is non-human, and he just absorbs the energy of this electromagnetic field.
Cybernetic organism.
He's absorbing it and just getting stronger.
Your boots, your clothes, your motorcycle. The Patriots, they beat down the Chargers. That was not a fun game to watch. The offensive line for the Chargers, they just couldn't recover. Remember, the Chargers for the first quarter of the season, they were leading the league in pass attempts, air yards. They looked like, the greatest show on turf. They were right there up there with them. And then once their two tackles ended up going out, then that was it. Once Alt was finally done for the season, the Chargers just couldn't recover. And now they're firing Greg Roman as their offense coordinator also following this beatdown.
Yeah. A lot of people are poo-pooing upon Justin Herbert for this too. And they're calling him the what if guy, what if he had an offensive line? What if this, what if that? Justin Herbert is an incredible quarterback, despite what anyone says. But once again, I think you and I actually talked about it just maybe last week or the pod before that. Without an offensive line, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you have the best offensive line and a mediocre quarterback, you can get things done because you can, if you're given time, you can do whatever you want. Your wide receiver will eventually get open. But it doesn't matter if you are a fantastic quarterback with a terrible offensive line. Like if you went through the PFF grading, like on their line, it's like bottom of the barrel. They are the lowest of their lowest.
Bottom three.
I mean, it's literally like, if you don't give your quarterback time, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you put Tom Brady out there in his prime and you give him only a half a second to throw the ball, he ain't getting anything done. I mean, he's running for his life. And so, all these people that are poo-pooing Justin Herbert, if they can figure this line out next year, I mean, now's the time to go and trade for him. If people are really down on Justin Herbert, like that much, they're like, he can't get it done. He's just going to be a guy that fades out. That's great. Give him to me cheap. I'll take him. Because, with Greg Roman out on this offense, I have a feeling we're about to see them fix this line, get a new offensive coordinator. And I think next year, I'm doubling down. I think Justin Herbert is going to absolutely dominate with these Chargers. And the wide receiver options he has, it's going to be incredible next year. Because I think it's going to be great. I think he's a great quarterback.
I was able to trade Tyler Shuck in a package for Herbert in that package. And so, I mean, you can make switcheroos like that. And Tyler Shuck, we saw it. He was heating up at the end of the season. People are getting excited. He's scoring 20-plus fantasy points. And you saw Herbert, again, hand injury, had to have hand surgery on his left side. Again, that's going to affect things for like stability and then pain management. Think of what that does mentally also, having a hand that's hurting, along with having the woes on the offensive line. I mean, he got sacked like 6 or 7 times in this one. What do you think that does to your mental status? And
speeds everything up. I mean, he's like, I got to get rid of this ball or otherwise I'm going down. And he's not afraid to be hit is the thing. Like, he's not afraid to take the hits.
That's the problem with Herbert, though, is he's not afraid to take the hits. He takes too many hits, and then he becomes injured year over year. And that's been the struggle with Herbert. He's an excellent quarterback, and I think any team would love to have him. But I would be trading for Herbert in the offseason.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think, one of my biggest trade targets in this offseason, especially in like 2 quarterback leagues. I mean, 1 quarterback league is absolutely, it's exciting to have Herbert on your team, but 2 quarterback leagues specifically, yeah, like you said, you can make swaps with quarterbacks. People are down on Herbert. This is your chance because he's phenomenal.
You talked about offensive line. I mean, we saw what the Bears did. They finally gave an offensive line to Caleb Williams. He gets sacked a lot less. He still holds on to the ball a little too long, but that's on him. But just bringing it back to the Bears also, I didn't know if you knew this, and I'm sure there's somebody that's listening here. Did you know that Matt LaFleur was also coaching with the Falcons when they went 28-3, when they were 28-3 in the Super Bowl and ended up losing? And now he loses to the Bears after being up 21-3.
Oh, it's gotta sting, man. I did not know that. Oof.
And then the last game,
Deja vu.
the last game from last week, the Steelers, they played it close for 3 quarters. They had like 3 turnovers, but they didn't do anything with them. The Texans ultimately came back, blew them out. Mike Tomlin steps down as the Pittsburgh head coach following this game. And now it sounds like Tomlin, he's going to take a year off, is my understanding.
Yeah, this one's a lot of rumors, but it sounds more like they asked him to step down. I think they gave him the option to, hey, we don't want to publicly fire you. Please step down before it's more of like we're letting you go. Like, he has given so much to that organization. It's similar to, I think, like the Harbaugh situation, where it was you mean so much to this organization. You've done so much for us. We're giving you the opportunity to mutually part ways, rather than like a firing. I'm sure. I mean, those coaches hold so much like high regard in the league that a firing wasn't going to be a bad mark on their, on their resume anyways. But it was still like a nice, like, hey, we're just going to try to find something else. It's, but Tomlin's going to take the year off, and I think he'll be a huge candidate for a head coaching job next year. But taking the year off, I think, is a good call. Just give him a minute, and he's still going to get paid. So,
and I believe John Harbaugh, is he taking the position? Is it finalized for the Giants?
I believe so. I keep seeing all these. I never saw an official thing come out, though.
Didn't either. So
okay,
I don't know if it's
I'm
just
not crazy.
rumor has it or what, but my understanding is that he's getting paid, I believe, $100 million to be their coach for 5 years. But I don't know. I don't know if it's finalized or not. It's hard to trust anything on the internet anymore.
Also, I keep seeing like all these memes and all this stuff come out, but I never saw like an official like, oh, we're hiring John Harbaugh. So I thought I was just crazy. I'm like, what did I miss? Like, I have been scouring like Twitter and all the news feeds. I'm like, where is this official like release? I'm like, okay, I thought I was.
Where's Adam Schefter at?
Yeah, right. Where's Schefter? Bring him out. Come on. I thought maybe I was just crazy. Okay. Glad.
Well, that's what I heard. I'm glad that we were at least hearing the same thing. We can finally get into this week's matchups. There's 4 games as it leads on to next week's championship game, which would take us to the Super Bowl. We've got the Bills versus the Broncos. We already talked about the Bills are down receivers. Their number 1 receiver right now, Colten, you know who it is? Brandon Cooks. And remember, they ended up getting him late during the season. And I think that's going to spark a lot of trouble against this stout Broncos defense in Denver.
Patrick Surtain's about to go nuts, man. He's about to just swat down every ball and be like, yeah, your receivers are not good enough for me. It's crazy, too, that the fact that the Bills are favored in this game somehow, which is wild to me. Denver's got a very, very tough defense. They've got to find a way to stop Josh Allen, which we've seen is proven difficult to do. But down wide receivers, I mean, he's going to have to get a lot done with his legs. But they also have a tough run defense, and James Cook is going to find a hard time just cutting through this Denver defense, especially down wide receivers. They can stack the box on James Cook. It's not like he's not a Derrick Henry. He's not anyone that can just run through the tackles. He's quick, speedy, and if they can just stack the box, it's gonna be tough time, man.
Then Ty Johnson, he was injured last week. I don't know if he's available in this one, but they're gonna need someone like Ty Johnson with all the receivers going down, because he's the pass catching back. We saw, I think, a target go to Frank Gore Jr. last week. I mean, that's how far down they were. They had him activated. Frank Gore Jr.
He's still in the league?
There was a sighting. Yes, he's with the Bills still.
He's still there? Oh, man. I see. Once I dropped him off my taxi squad last year, out of my mind.
I keep, I churn that barrel, Colten. I keep my ears to the ground. I keep watching. I'm looking for things to pop. I love it so much.
You love that.
Because he was a talented rookie coming out.
I liked him enough. And then
just a tough landing spot.
Was he 7th round or was he like undrafted?
I think he was undrafted.
Undrafted, okay. I was gonna say I couldn't remember if he was super late or if
he might have been 7th round. I can't remember now, Colten. They might have drafted him late, but I thought he was an undrafted player.
It's wild that he caught a pass. He's still alive.
Still, yes. Well, we know Frank Gore's they never die.
You're not wrong. Frank Gore ran forever, man. It was insane. I think he helped me win my first ever championship in fantasy.
Like 30 years ago?
In a redraft league. And it was like his 40th year in the league, I believe.
Like 30 years ago?
30 years ago, and it was 40th year in the league.
Then he was there forever. But my understanding is that this is the first time in NFL history that a number 1 seed is not favored.
Wild. That's going to be a fun game. It could be a very boring defensive game, but it's going to be fun, I think.
I'm excited for it.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm more excited about that one than the next one, the 49ers versus the Seahawks in Seattle. But did you know that the 49ers, I'm pretty sure they're undefeated in Seattle?
Undefeated?
With Kyle Shanahan as the coach.
Didn't they lose to him this year?
In Seattle? I don't believe so.
Did they swap? Seattle beat them in San Francisco. San Francisco beat them in Seattle?
I think that's how it went.
What?
Unless my stat is wrong, which I apologize.
No, it very well could be.
That's what I had heard. Which I just thought it made it more interesting.
I find that wild.
Because the 49ers, again, they're so banged up. I mean,
honestly...
Kittle being gone, I think, hurts this team so much.
I saw Kittle, when I was watching the game, I saw Kittle go down, and I was like, that's not good. I'm like, this game's over. I don't think they can get it done without Kittle. And yet they did, especially against the Eagles defense. I was like, against this Eagles defense, there's no way they can get this done without Kittle. Sure enough, they did. So, I mean, they've got the electromagnetic god himself, CMC, in the backfield. And he's been proven impossible to stop, man.
Thor.
This game could be Thor. This game could be absolutely more fun than what I think you're letting it on to be. I mean, Seattle's got a tough defense, but man, it's going to be Kyle Shanahan.
They still have Sam Darnold under center.
He's ready to choke. Well, he's questionable too for this game. You got to remember, he's questionable. He hurt his oblique.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, so he's hurt his oblique in practice during the week. So they're just loading up that excuse as to why Sam Darnold played poorly.
That really stinks, Colten. Do you think Pearsall steps up?
I do have a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
Ricky Pearsall, I think, is just one of those guys I would love to have in just a best ball league. Because when he shows up, man, he balls out. And then the other times he just poof, gone, vanishes. Just doesn't. I mean, he's hurt. When he's healthy, he's plays.
You mean he's taken?
Get out of here. Mute your mic and never.
That's a good one, Dad.
But yeah, it's just he could very well show up for this game, and he could also very well disappear. I don't know what to do with Ricky Pearsall. Because when he's healthy, he plays well and is great. And then other times he's like, I'm gonna take this game off. I'm hurt. I got a boo-boo again.
The Texans, they're playing the Patriots this weekend on Sunday. Do you think the Texans have a chance against the Patriots? The Texans' offense looked mediocre at best against the Steelers, but their defense is so stout.
This is two, I think, really good defenses that are just going to be button heads. The Patriots have a slightly better offense. The problem is, I mean, the Patriots don't have any. They got Drake May at quarterback, which is, whew, Drake May is incredible. But their number one wide receiver is 32-year-old Stephon Diggs, who's looked okay. I mean, he hasn't been like the superstar that he was, but he's looked good. But then they just
Boute's looked fantastic.
I'd say Butte looks like, an okay guy. It's just
okay, Butte.
Yeah, I mean, I against this defense, this Texans defense, I'm gonna find it extremely hard to see this kind of slightly better than average wide receiver core do stuff. I think if anything happens, it's going to have to come on the back of Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson, that 1-2 combo at the running back, which has looked incredible. Since they've let Travion Henderson open up more, I mean, he's really carried this team to some of these wins. So, for those people that held on to Henderson or traded for him when he was not playing well, congratulations. You've got an absolute stud and an electric stud on your fantasy team. But I don't know, man. This could be very much so a game that is low scoring and not the most exciting of games to watch because, I mean, in the Texans, Nico Collins isn't playing out on concussion. I don't know if they've officially ruled him out, but it sounds like he's not gonna. Did they officially rule him out? So they're missing their stars, So now you've got, I mean, Christian Kirk went off last week. He was the guy. He was the guy that led their team to the win last week. But man, this could be just a very defensive, slow playing game. And I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's just, I think either team could win here. Really.
I think it's the Patriots and it's not close. But we'll get to our takes at the end of who we believe is going to be in the championship rounds next week. But we got one more game, Colten. Maybe the game of the weekend, the Rams versus the Bears in Chicago. How do you think this one's going to go?
I'm so excited for this game, man. Honestly, I've never been excited for a Bears game, but this game is going to be so much fun with Matt Stafford and Caleb Williams just going up head to head. Caleb Williams has really started to show out, and he proved it last week when it was go time. He made it happen. And I'm excited to see some of these weapons on the Chicago Bears to see what they're going to do. I mean, DJ Moore has stepped up. We started to see the breakout of Luther Burden, but the biggest breakout we've seen and who's really taken over this offense is Colston Loveland, man. He has proven this last half of the season that, he's that guy and he's going to be their go-to receiving option. And so, I mean, if you took the shot on him, picking him up in leagues, you have got to be excited about that. I mean, who would you rather have, him or Brock Bowers?
Right now, I mean, I think it's pretty easy. I think it's got to be Loveland, just because. I mean, who's going to be the quarterback for the Raiders next year? I think they have to stick with Geno Smith, but they have a lot of pieces around them that are depreciating. Like they have so many needs, and that's why. And we'll talk about it multiple times, I'm sure, in this offseason before maybe it actually happens. I think the Raiders have to trade out of the number 1 overall pick, and they need to trade it to a team like the Jets. Or maybe the Dolphins are wanting Fernando Mendoza because they want to get their Miami boy, but they need a lot of picks and they need a lot of things to go their way in the draft for probably 3 more seasons before their team actually becomes competitive again. Because right now, every team in their division, Kansas City Chiefs, the Broncos, the Chargers, are all significantly better than the Raiders. And they need to rebuild while those other teams get old. And then they can kind of be two ships passing in the night where now they're on the higher end while the other teams are trying to rebuild. But it's going to be some time. It's going to be like a 3-year build.
Yeah. They're not just a quarterback away. They took Brock Bowers because they just took, I think, best player available. I think they really wanted a quarterback.
It's a Falcons move. Yeah. I mean, they got Pitts because he's the best one available. Good for them for hitting on Bowers. But now they got the wrong quarterback in there, and Geno Smith, he didn't do anything with Bowers last year.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if we've seen it. We saw it with Justin Jefferson this year. You can be an absolutely incredible pass catcher, and it doesn't matter if you don't have the quarterback to get you the ball. You at least need a mediocre quarterback at best. I mean, we've seen Justin Jefferson get it done with other quarterbacks, but I mean, it's just with such terrible quarterback play there that I'd rather have Colston Loveland than Brock Bowers, which is wild to say after his Brock Bowers rookie season last year. It's just wild to say that. But man, Colston Loveland looks like a dog, and he looks like he's going to be, a very not close second tight end too for me, because Trey McBride takes the number one slot by a landslide, but you got to be happy to have Colston Loveland.
Do you think people are actually aware that Loveland is as good as we're saying he is? Like, do you think you can go out and trade for Loveland? I think that Loveland is an easier target to trade for than Bowers.
Oh, correct. Yeah. Yeah, I think you could trade Brock Bowers for Loveland plus. I think someone would do that, and I would easily make that trade if I had Bowers. Hey, give me Loveland in a second, or Loveland in Parker Washington or something like that. I would take those trades. I would much rather have Loveland, which is just crazy that we're saying this a whole year later after Brock.
Remember, I was down on Loveland for the rookie drafts. I was down on him. Like, my bad. Like, he's showing like he is potentially going to be the number one target for the Bears for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's kind of settled in as Caleb Williams' go-to guy. It's like when he needs it and he's getting pressured, Loveland is like, it's like they have the Mahomes and Kelsey kind of connection. It's like, I see my quarterback in trouble, I'm getting open, and he's going to get me the ball. And, that's why we saw magic happen with Kelsey for so long, is because he had that instinct to be like, quarterback's in trouble, get open, and they just had the connection. And that's what we're seeing kind of build up here between those two guys. And they're both real young and have lots of time to build up that connection even more. And yeah, I think he's going to be the number one option. And I think, if there's any amount of window, yeah, you can try to get Loveland. But, I think after this last few weeks, though, we could see that window closing.
So we're at the end of the show here, Colten. We've got a couple games today, a couple games tomorrow. Of these teams, who do you think moves on to the championship rounds for the AFC and the NFC?
Do you want the teams that I want or the teams that I think?
the teams that you believe are going to be there next week.
I think, unfortunately, and this is not what I want, but unfortunately, Denver fans are going to love this. My friend's back from Colorado. I think we're going to see the Denver Broncos against the New England Patriots for the AFC.
I agree.
And I believe we are going to see the Rams against the Seahawks in the divisional game.
I also agree.
I think the experience of the Rams and Sean McVay, I think it's going to be a very close game, but I think the experience is going to win out on this one. How many times has McVay and Stafford seen this situation, where they're able to keep it cool, calm, and collected? We saw them go toe-to-toe with the Packers, and it was a fourth quarter comeback. At some point, that juice is going to run out. You can't have that many miracles. I mean, we saw it with the Vikings when Kirk Cousins, when they won like how many one-score games and comeback games in a row. And finally that juice, the magic just runs out. And I could see that happening to the Bears, unfortunately. It's going to be a fun game, but I think at some point experience is going to win out when they're able to keep their calm and cool, offense going. Especially, it's going to be hard to stop Puka Nacua too, and Devontae Adams. I see the Rams winning that one.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to come down to the last second. In typical Bears fashion, they're going to attempt to make the comeback at the end, but but I think they're just going to miss it.
Yep, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, the other games to speak for them, I think the 49ers are just too beat down for the Seahawks. It's a tough defense, and their offense is also very good. So in the
Seahawks
49ers
defense, the Seahawks defense is tougher than the 49ers defense, would you say?
Oh yeah, no, the Seahawks defense is the 49ers defense is beat up and it's just not looking good. I mean, they are just down, and I think the Seahawks have a good enough offense to just blow by them, and the Seahawks defense is tough enough to take down. I mean, if you stop CMC, and I think you stop that offense. I mean, Brock Purdy has been playing lights out, but you can only do so much with the slightly above average cast of Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings.
And to piggyback there, I think that's our same thought process in regards to the Broncos beating the Bills. They have too many injuries. They don't have enough wide receiver depth to make that leap over the Broncos. And then the Texans, we've seen them to be being lost a number of times during the season when Nico Collins is out. And, Christian Kirk can't do it all.
That is the key reason I am picking the Patriots over the Texans is the fact that Nico Collins is out. I mean, the key piece on the offense against a tough defense and an offense that hasn't been playing well in general. I mean, next year they really need to focus, I think, on getting a running back in that offense, or getting Joe Mixon back or something, because they don't have a run game. I like Woody Marks. I think he is a okay running back, but he's not anything that's going to make the Patriots stop and say, we got to stop this guy. We got to focus on Woody Marks because he's so good. That play action just isn't going to hold him long enough to shut down this okay wide receiver core.
But I think that's the play for the Patriots. You stop the run and you force CJ Stroud into throwing the ball, because we've seen him be erratic with the football this year. He just doesn't look like the CJ Stroud of his rookie season. Something's up. I don't know if he's just not processing fast enough, or if the line is maybe problematic like we're seeing with Herbert. I don't have enough details there, but he's got all kinds of weapons to throw to, even with Nico out. And I just think they're still going to struggle.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with CJ Stroud. Remember when people were taking him like top 5 quarterbacks? I was never
top 5 in Superflex.
Yeah, Superflex. That's what I'm saying. I was never on that. I had the number 5 in the Superflex league I was in. I traded back, and that person took CJ Stroud, and I was able to get extra draft capital in a startup because someone wanted CJ Stroud so bad. And wow. I did not understand it. I didn't like him there. I didn't want him there. And it's just baffling to me. And because this is the concerns I had with him is this right here. I'm like, we could easily see a decline, and we have, man. Just wild too.
And I think that's going to also describe what this weekend's going to be. It's going to be wild, Colten. And I think that's going to be pretty much our show this week. Next week, we'll see who moves on from the divisional rounds, makes it to the championship, and makes that push for a Super Bowl run.
It's going to be a fun weekend.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Fantasy Football Healers. Again, you can find me at FF Healers. You can find Colten at FF Captain 22 on Twitter X. Please hit the like, subscribe button. And don't forget, we're live on YouTube now. It's usually going to be that Friday night, Saturday morning time frame where you can find us. And let us know if you have any comments, questions, concerns on any of these players, so that way we can bring it up here on the pod. Thanks, everybody.
Salud.